And I just found, he sent it last week, and I just found out I had the list yesterday before I went on the radio. So we're going to pass some of those out, and then and it's your responsibility to take that list, go and get some copies Xerox on your own, and pass it to the other people. You see? So you get the list, you pass it on to the other people. You see? So you do that, you know, and we'll go through some things. We got these new prophecies. Now, today I'm going to produce a book. Also now, when I was up in New York, one of the psychics, I think she's in town now, Sister Shakura. Yeah, anyway, that you need to start doing is getting you it's a copper rod with a crystal on the end and a stone at the bottom. And these are going to be your weapons. You can kill people with them. Well, not you, the melanin carriers. You see what I'm saying? If you got the chosen seed of Israel, hey, how you doing? If you got that, you don't have to worry about that. But I'm saying you have to back these people up off you. Plus that copper, you need it for protection and these things. So there's a brother that makes them. So once I show you the rod, I'm going to pass out some of these cards. And you get in touch with the brother, you can pass some out. You can pass some out. These are the actual helicopter things. Now listen, to save paper, if you are with somebody, make sure you get one, you understand what I'm saying? And then you and that other person you with can get it copied. Don't just you take one, the other person take, because we've got a lot of people up in here. And that way you can save paper if you're with somebody, you know, like that. So if you're with the group, then you take one out of each group. Check? All right. So like I said, we have that the helicopter thing going down. I got a lot of good stuff. Now, some of the stuff that I'm going to be dealing with, I'm going to be dealing with a lot of prophecies today. I'm also going to be dealing with some stuff from London, England, that's going to, some stuff from London, England, because there's supposed to have been a slideshow today, but I think what is going on, and I have gotten a little advanced, and I think that what it is in the last days we need to break this thing down to the least common denominator so we can know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? For everybody. I think everybody need to go back to the basics, because I even went back to some books that I read 2 or 3 years ago when I first started lecturing, and stuff is right in there because your mind is always expanding. Because also what happens is you come in and you read some stuff on the level that you own, and then you take it literal. You always take things literal at first, and then what you might have read and you might have understood, it might be another meaning, it might be metaphysical. So what I'm going to explain today when I get into the Bible scriptures is a lot of these scriptures are metaphysical. And we're going to give you some terms that you need to write down if you got a pencil and piece of paper later on. And these terms, did you find it? If these terms are, wait a minute. Did you look in the front part, that little glove compartment thing on the side of the seat? Well, I'll try to find it. These terms that you know, certain terms, then when you go back in your Bible, you look them up, and remember, 98% of your Bible is not talking about a story at all. It's not talking about a history of a people back then. It's a metaphysical thing that's handed down from generation to generation. And most of the people that put together the Bible, they ended up they made what you call metaphysical, timeless scriptures and turned it into literal history. So you've been getting your history from the Bible. But the Bible is only a few years old, and they only have a history that goes back to 6,000 years. Well, hell, we was finished at 6,000 years. The stuff that I got here, new stuff coming out of London, England, and I'm getting ready to put in my new book, I'm going to put some on the tape, is the first, I think the first one is 15 million years. See what I'm saying? 15 million years. So, I mean, that's, so the Bible is a book of the soul. All of religious documents are books of the soul. It doesn't necessarily literally mean moral doctrine as far as what you're supposed to learn how to behave. The European needed that to learn how to behave. You were righteous people, and they say righteous people, you knew how to behave. You see what I'm saying? On your own. As a matter of fact, even going through the mind-altering butcher of slavery, you only fell apart, what, 1985 is when you started really killing each other? You still was the moral authority and the moral conscience of America. You know what I'm saying? If white people wanted to justify something, what did they do? They had to go get some black people to put it in. You really just started falling apart, even though you've been struggling and suffering for many years. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, that means that these books are books that's supposed to be read for the soul. So what happens is sometimes when you get too intellectual, like I got all the books, sometimes you know, I get all this stuff, and then I just went back and looked right in the Bible, and man, the stuff that started coming was, this is what they're talking about right here. Here's the Stargate. Here's this. Here's that. I'm going to go out. We're going to take an intermission, and when I go out, I'm going to go back out to the car and try to look for this crystal wand. And then I'm going to pass out the brother. Brother Juju is another brother. He's a psychic, and he gets stuff off of what they call the astral realm, and they tell him what to make. And he's one of the best jewelry makers in the world. As a matter of fact, when the King Tutankhamun, you remember the Tutankhamun exhibit came in 1979. They had him to do the jewelry, and the stuff that they were shipping over from Hemmitt, his jewelry looked more authentic. His stuff looked like the stuff, you know, they mass-produce stuff, but they got like 1 or 2 little patterns, and they mass-produce all this stuff. You can see the same thing over and over again. His stuff was looking like it came all the way from Hemmitt 2,000 years ago. So they used him, and he's been in the Smithsonian. So, but the thing about him is, it's more than just a craftsmanship, it's him just putting stuff together of what looks good. He actually gets stuff off the astral plane, so the spirits tell him what to make. So he made this crystal wand and all, and it's one of the best ones I've seen. I mean, you know, I've seen some, and it's a small miniature one, and I think I got it out in the car. But anyway, for some of those people that want to get some of those things, I'm going to pass out his card for you to get it also, too. So, I guess the first thing we'll do is, I see they did it this time with some water. We're going to pour libations to get the ball rolling. And you know how you do this? You go Ashe. You know, so I just start calling them out. Ashe, okay? Ewas, Ashe, Al-Su, Ashe, Mamu, Ashe, Astal, Ashe, Kulukulu, Ashe, Kwazakoto, Ashe, Nakumpa, Ashe, Umbelenga, Ashe, Shengo, Ashe, Obatala, Ashe, Oduduwa, Ashe, Orunla, Ashe, Oshun, Ashe, Ogun, Ashe, Elegba, Ashe, Iminja, Ashe, Orisha Oku, Ashe, Oya, Ashe, Damawalawedo, Ashe, Papagede, Ashe, Ife, Ashe, let's see, Edo, Ashe, Zaka, Ashe, Alafat, Ashe, Bridget, Ashe, Adam Gwade, Ashe, Marasha, Ashe, Darth, Ashe, Tether, Ashe, Shakma, Ashe, Bina, Ashe, Tipperith, Ashe, Naksad, Ashe, Had, Ashe, Yal Said, Ashe, Malkuth, Ashe, Ain, Ashe, Ain Sa Ashe, okay, hold on, Cthulhu, Ashe, Azathoth, Ashe, Nirlahotep, Ashe, Shub-Niggurath, Ashe, Hastar, Ashe, let's see, Marduk, Ashe, Tiamat, Ashe, Timayat, Ashe, Sekmayat, Ashe, Yog Sathos, Ashe, Brahman, Ashe, Vishnu, Ashe, Bravini, Ashe, Nut, Ashe, Apit, Ashe, Gaia, Ashe, Layla, Ashe, Allah, Ashe, El Shaddai, Ashe, Melchizedek, Ashe, Medraatan, Ashe, Atan, Ashe, Bastet, Ashe, Butchers, Ashe, Dadoon, Ashe, Sutnesi, Ashe, Sutnubit, Ashe, Pascat, Ashe, Janesi, Ashe, Rodnesi, Ashe, Thunderdog, Ashe, Thunderbird, Ashe, Jack, Ashe, Henry, Ashe, Patah Netu Unra, Ashe, Janesi, Ashe, Wolfman, Ashe, Osea, Ashe, Aset, Ashe, Heru, Ashe, Patah, Ashe, Ra, Ashe, Anpu, Ashe, Tahuti, Ashe, Mut, Ashe, Month, Ashe, Mont, Ashe, Minovis, Ashe, Nanu, Ashe, Heket, Ashe, Peket, Ashe, Shuha, Ashe, Muther, Ashe, Sutnesi, Ashe, Ranesi, Ashe, Heru Kent Kuti, Ashe, Lazarus, Ashe, Melektas, Ashe, Azazel, Ashe, Sanjek, Ashe, Samuel, Ashe, Raziel, Ashe, Kaziel, Ashe, Lubiel, Ashe, Bubiel, Ashe, Lashiel, Ashe, Michael, Ashe, Gabriel, Ashe, Haniel, Ashe, Lilith, Ashe, Lilith, Ashe, Vasheshetu, Ashe, Omino Kofo, Ashe. Let's do this. Let's get some good things going. Let's see. All right. I'm on a roll now, so I don't want to stop it. Oh, say Tachi Kim, Ashe, Dr. Murti, Ashe, Sunbear, Ashe, Uzimu, Ashe, Bo, Ashe, Da, Ashe, Ama, Ashe, Neama, Ashe, Ba, Ashe, Na, Ashe, Nomo, Ashe, let's see, Kuntu, Ashe, Kuthumi, Ashe, Shanat Kumra, Ashe, let's see, okay, let's keep on going. what's that? Segment, Ashe. Sebek Ra, Ashe. Kansu Ra, Ashe. Ankaf the Kansu, Ashe. Pa Hatu Ra, Ashe. Mutin Ashe. Lamb, Ashe. Sami, Ashe. Kami, Ashe. Aditi, Ashe. Sata, Ashe. Tasagata, Ashe. All the Necronomicon, Ashe. All the Anukian deities, Ashe. Pele, Ashe. Gaya, Ashe. Animamundi, Ashe. Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Ashe. Nobutu Ali, Ashe. Malcolm X, Ashe. Master Fard Muhammad, Ashe. Marcus Garvey, Ashe. Adam Clayton Powell, Ashe. Martin Luther King, Ashe. Sojourner Truth, Ashe. Harriet Tubman, Ashe. Mary McLeod Bethune, Ashe. Nat Turner, Ashe. Ray Turner, Ashe. Richard Allen, Ashe. Denmark Vesey, Ashe. Henry Highland Garnett, Ashe. Morris Brown, Ashe. Come on, give me some. Ashe. Ashe. Keep on going. Ashe. Desaline. Ashe. Okay, let's do it this way. Okay, now, I'm just going to say to all gods known and unknown. Ashe, to all ancestors known and unknown. Ashe, I'm going to give you my, so let's see, my, the Hemmitt family. Ashe, the Shaw family. Ashe. Okay, and so now, when I count to 3, 1, 2, 3, just start giving out your ancestor's name. 1, 2, 3. Ashe. 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 Okay, to all ancestors known and unknown. Ashe. To all gods known and unknown. Ashe. Ashe. Let's do one to this we'll dedicate this lecture to Oya and Sekhmet because that's that heat that's we're dealing with today. And also, you know, put it on them, put it on them. Put it on them, you see. We ain't gonna go down to some Africans that can't stand no heat. And just so happened that my doggone my central air is off. You know, doggone two-bedroom apartment. And them fans ain't doing nothing. But just, you know, them fans ain't doing a doggone thing. So now, first thing we're going to do is going to get to this, you know, the hard copy New World Order thing. You know what I'm saying? We get that going. So now the first thing we're going to do is first of all, like I said before, we'll do a recap on what I talked about last night on the radio. You know that, like I said, the fires in Vine City. The fires in Vine City is start because that's a whole redevelopment program in Vine City. And somebody get me some water or something when you get a chance in Vine City. And we know that they have scheduled to build 150 houses in there in place of every old raggedy house. Now, I live over that area, and I'm telling you, it's one of the most depressing areas in the world. So I don't blame them for trying to build the place up. I'm just saying the way they're doing it. We do know that they stepped in right before they built the Dome Stadium in 1987 and 88, and they told them they wanted them to buy. They said, we want you to sell. So most of the people sold. So what they did is they moved, and anybody else want some, you know, let us just raise your hand or whatever. So then they moved most of the people that didn't own homes, they had to move out. And most of the people, the younger people, all of them moved out. So the only people that was left was old people. Old people say, well, I don't need no money. Hell, I'm 80 years old. I just want to live in comfort. So you can't, it's hard to sell old people on getting up and moving. So the idea was at first now, a police officer told me this in 1988 outside of Atlanta Nights, out at the party one night. And the brother said, look, man, he said they're killing people in Vine City. He said it was the police department, and he said basically it was downtown. It was not so much the police department because sometimes they stay away from the police department because they got a lot of blacks on the police department. He said it was downtown Atlanta and these certain officials that they pay these brothers. Well, hell, it's crack out there. You pay anybody to do something. You know what I'm saying? And they said they paid them to kill old people. Now, the reason why they do that is they kill a few old people. Then those old people's children come in and say, look, it's too dangerous, and force them to sell. So now I think they have sold most of the houses. So now it's in the process of the other ones that they want. The other houses, what they want to do is the people that didn't sell, they just started burning them down. Remember, the killing started back up in 93, you see. So this man went on a what? He started in 88, and let's see, 88, let's see, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, about 4 years sabbatical. Now, he just going to quit killing people. But all of a sudden started back. And as you know, they always give a description of a person. Say, we think this man is the Vine City killer, but you never heard anything else on it about them convicting anybody, right? So, what the deal is now they started burning down these things. It was the brother Juju, the one that makes the jury. He knew the brother, and the brother had just arrived from He just arrived from New York, from Detroit. And he told him, he said, brother, you need to stay out of those houses. He was a homeless brother. He was using these empty houses too to stay in. He said, you need to stay out of there because they'll hem you up on some stuff. So as a result, some people knew that he was staying in the houses, and they called the police, you know, about this man staying in these houses. And so they said, okay, he's the person we could frame. And basically it goes like that, you see. So now, like I said before, they just built this whole Morris Brown Stadium. We're going to go into that in a few minutes. But there's all kind of things, like we're saying, this heat. Now, it's interesting about the heat. Now, they say it's only supposed to be like 75 or 85 degrees right now, but they got this heat wave. And it's all, did you see the map? It's all over the South. You see, now the South is a pivotal point on when this thing is coming back. Honorable Eliezer Mohammed said when the black man and woman rise up in the South, it's all over. Now, it was interesting that last night on the news they said it was a record-breaking heat wave in the South. Now, the South is always known to be hot in the summer, but this was a record breaker, and the last time they had records that even fit these was what? 1914. And remember, go back and read the message to the black man. 1914 was the time when the white man's cycle was supposed to be up. Right? Now, the reason why I'm going to go into a lot of stuff on the Elijah. Now, I'm here to challenge any scholar that you want to stand up and you want to do the history, but if you go back to Manetho's Egypt, you fucked, excuse the expression. Why? Because now we understand that the whole resurgence of the whole ASCAC thing was based on what was in the universities that was available. But what they didn't know is before they even put those things on the shelves, in the libraries and even in the museums, the white people went through all of the stuff that they carted out of Egypt or Hemmitt and all of the world, and they put that underground. So now there's new occult history coming up that I'm going to go and I'm going to give you a chronology today on some occult history of the world. And now all of a sudden, I'm looking at this stuff, and I can't go to the Diop books, I can't go to Dr. Ben, because these books don't even coincide with this history. But yet it's documented because I got the actual manuscripts out of the British Museum, and I showed the last lecture I did, I showed the actual documents of these texts that the Moors brought up from Spain. But now these things are starting, I think they start with such and such, and I got some information from England, but don't worry about it. I'm getting ready to print my own book, and I'm gonna put it in there so that way everybody can get it. But it starts at 15 billion years old. It starts at 15 billion years. I think it starts at 15 billion years. I think it does. So now, this is the same history. That the only thing I found that can even coincide with this history is the Honorable Eliezer Mohammed. They talk about this 66 trillion years, and I go, well, I'll be damned. We've been had again. Because we didn't want to follow a man with a fourth grade education. You understand what I'm saying? Because he was not ordained by the white man's education. You see. Now, they've been coming because they come to us every morning in the spirit realm. Because some of you, if you start hearing voices, you need to start tapping into them. They come there every morning. And one thing they have said more than twice is, answer not what you know of Homer. Which means, Homer is what? The first a European book, the Iliad and the Odyssey. And so what they're saying is now, if you don't get stuff from another level, a lot of the stuff that you're getting that you are basing your stuff off of European history, you're not going to find it there. You understand what I'm saying? So now this whole, I saw this on the news about this 1914, so now it's not by accident that they have this heat wave going on. That's all spiritual. Because now this is the 1st of June. It's just the 10th. Now that means with this particular heat wave, that means one thing: we're in for a long summer. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm going to repeat this stuff again, because I'm telling you, it's got to go down, and it's going to go down this summer. And you should start rejoicing. So let's go into something. Like I said again, 3,000 whites have been struck by lightning. See what I'm saying? 3,000 white people have been struck by lightning. And you've been seeing the tornadoes. No, yeah, 6,000, excuse me, 6,000, all about 3,000, they said so many thousand tornadoes, 60 in places at one time. You saw they showed the thing on the news where they had the tornado and the cracker was standing out there with a camera, and they had one here, one here, one here, one here. Now, my goodness, if that's not Revelations, what is? But now when we go into the scripture, we're going to detail everything that's going on today. We're going to detail it right in the scriptures in the Bible. Okay? Because that's the book, the good book that we know. But then again, on the other hand, that's our book too. We're not saying that the Bible is wrong. We're just saying go pick up the other 19 books if you can. But what you have is authentic scriptures if you don't read them literal. If you read them metaphysically, the Bible can open up to you. That's why they put it. It's a reason that they would put you over in the West, and that would be the book that the masses of your people would have. Because in the last days, yes, we have all the other books, and that's great too, but then again, on the other hand, we're supposed to read all of them. Like I tell you, we need to read the Bible and different books. You need to read every religious manifestation on the planet. So me, I do read all the other ones, but you know how it is. When you get so much into the higher stuff, you try to disregard the Bible, and there was a few keys that was missing, and boom, it's right there in the Bible. So we're going to deal with that also too. Now, like I said too, let me get this this piece that I said that you know that this stuff has got to be. Well, people say that brother they just talk a whole lot of crazy stuff, but it can't be that crazy when you got particular documents that they're putting out against white people. Now it's interesting because to let you know, I think Commander. No, this is the Ishtar Command, but you'll see some books called Commander Hanton. If you anybody going in the metaphysical bookstores, you'll see Commander Hanton. So to let you know, this is a document that I received from Detroit, where it says that this. Now, what they do is they just go and pick a place. They say, okay, Pleiades, we'll pick that. Why? Because the Pleiades, the Pleiades is not seen as much as Sirius in ancient scripture, but also the Pleiadians are black. Now, it's the reason why they do this with the Pleiades. First of all, the Pleiadians and the Orions and the Syrians, they're all black. That's the melanin realm, and you got to be all black because when you get that high, there's no such thing as the physical anymore. So what you talk about, the spirit in you, the thing that's actually listening to me now, is the spirit that's inside of you, and that's black. Now, the key to that is this. The reason why they give you this thing on the Pleiadians is for one reason, is they've already told you that Jesus Christ was white, right? But they know that even though Pleiadians is black, the Pleiadians is in your book of Job. Read the book of Job and you'll see something about the Pleiades and lose the band of Orion. It's in the book of Job. You understand what I'm saying? But that's all a part of the brotherhood. So since they have already, you bought the story that Jesus Christ was white, they can come back and tell you that the Pleiadians are white. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the reason why they do it, but the Pleiadians don't have nothing to do with them. The Pleiadians are black just like we are, and it's all one brotherhood up there. You understand what I'm saying? So they picked the planet. The reason why they couldn't pick Syrian, because you can go into the book of Coming Forth by Day and see Sirius. Or you could go and get the Dogon, the Sirius mystery, and see Sirius. So some people put two and two together and say, oh, that's black. You understand what I'm saying? It's all black, but that is a direct link. So they stay away from that. So now what they do to counter us talking, mainly me, because I'm the one that did the most stuff on Syrian, me, Delbert Blair, probably Daoud, and a couple of other people. Delbert Blair, Daoud, me, and I think the brother, what's his name, Riley Martin? What's his name? He's coming out speaking, and a few people are mentioning stuff other than just history. We're talking about the cosmos now. So now, as a result, they got to counter this. So how they counter this is, and I'm quite sure the reason why they have to counter this is because some white people are being concerned. You get a black man up here saying that the white man getting ready to get killed and then producing a whole lot of documents to back that stuff up, then they get a little concerned about this. So what they do is, for their particular group, they put out what they call propaganda information. A lot of books are propaganda information, and you can read some of these books in their propaganda. A guy that wrote a book, his name is John Stockwell, My 25 Years in the CIA. He showed how in the 60s some black books was being written by white people for propaganda. You see what I'm saying? I think one of those books, I'm not sure if he mentioned, I think it was Black Rage. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I think it was a couple of black books they put out for propaganda. Well, once they see you tapping in a certain amount of elements of stuff that they don't want you, they'll start putting out propaganda stuff to confuse you. You understand what I'm saying? So now the first thing they're going to do is, and this is how they threw a whole bunch of people off on the first wave. Some of the people from like 93, there was a group of people in Atlanta from the first wave. They threw a lot of people off with Yogananda in them. They gave a lot of people stuff on Yogananda. But we know that Yogananda was an agent. Yogananda was a guru, and he was an agent for the British government. Actually, he came over here to making some money. He knew there was going to be a gateway opening up in 1956. Now, there's a book you need to get. It's a very big, good book you need to get called Secret of the Andes. Write it down. Secret of the Andes by Brother Philip. Now, Brother Philip is George Hunt Williamson. The other book you're going to get is Other Tongues of the Flesh. Now, why did I suggest these books? Because I understand that most people might not know about Hemmitt, Egypt, Babylonia, but you know about the Bible. You don't have to read the Bible, but you done heard enough Bible verses quoted at you since you, you just say, okay, yeah, I say that in the Bible. Now, Secret of the Andes, in this book, he's going to be dealing with a lot of biblical scriptures. You understand? So this is a good book. This is a very good book. There's a chapter in here on the wanderers. That's you. You need to get that. There's a chapter in here on the migrants that is talking about the people from Sirius. Real good book you need to get. As well as a book called Extraterrestrials and Biblical Prophecy. So you want to get these things, because if you're going to, let's just say, just so happen, not so much, they say the Bible say don't cast pearls to swine. They mean because some people, they feel comfortable in what they believe, and they will actually resent you for telling them knowledge, you understand, that's going to make them accountable. For whom much is given, much is required. But let's say you got a person that's searching. And that person needs to be, he doesn't need a scripture that's going to be over his head. But if you give him something that coincides with the Bible, then you can lock him in. You understand what I'm saying? So now the book, Extraterrestrials and Biblical Prophecy by George Shellhorn is the one that you want to get. Just keep that in mind. It's one that you might want to get. As well as Secret of the Andes by Brother Philip. Brother Philip is the alias name of George Hunt Williamson, and that's not even his name, because in the 50s when he was writing these things, you know, he'd get killed for writing UFO material, so you had to give alias names. So now, those are some good books. He made another book, Secret Place of the Lion, and all. So, what the deal is you want to deal with these things in these particular scriptures that's going to explain some of this particular stuff. Now, so the white boys got a count of this stuff. So they wrote that the Pleiadians are operating from the central command station of the mothership. Why? Because they know that I'm Eliezer Mohammed and everybody talking about the mothership. You understand what I'm saying? And it says called Ashtar Command. Now, it says also that one of the Ashtar Command is called Commander Hanton. And Hanton has been in communication with several channels for some time. Channel is several psychics. Now, one of the keys is Hanton is nothing but a government propaganda type people. You see? Now, to counter this, the first thing they say, however, there are a group of negative Syrians. Now, who are they talking about? First of all, when I read this little thing, at first they say negative Syrians, you think they're talking about some aliens. You see what I'm saying? But then they start double talking. There's a group of negative Syrians impersonating Hanton, which has caused much confusion. You understand what I'm saying? Well, the only confusion, if this is the government talking about, the only confusion is somebody talking about, we tired of this doggone junk and we ready to get up and take our planet back. Right? See what I'm saying? We need to take our planet back. I'm telling you this here. This is a glorious day. We need to be rejoicing. You see what I'm saying? We need to be rejoicing. And the reason why I say that is because I come before you without a dime. You understand what I'm saying? I had $4. I gave it to my brother. He went on out to Millennium Square Mall. You see what I'm saying? And all right, this here and all that. I got the pink slip the other day. So now look, what I need to do is I need to find me a place. Let me know if you can find some houses and stuff. You see what I'm saying? Because I need, you know, some houses for sale, mainly in town, because I'm going to be moving and stuff. Because I'd say, well, hell, if I'm going to pay some rent and I ain't got no air, you understand what I'm saying? And ain't got no kind of stuff like this and all, you know. Because so, no water, because they cut off the water because the man didn't pay the bill and all that kind of junk. I say, okay, shit, I ain't paid since February. So now, anyway, we was waiting on it. I said, well, I tell you, I said, this chill, we just squat until they put the thing on the door, and they put it on the door the other day. Now, I'm saying these things because I have no reason to sit up and try to lie and stuff because I'm not making no money off this thing. So I'm not like these charlatans that's coming out because I ain't making no money. You see what I'm saying? So now the key what I'm trying to say is this. And what drives me is the love for black people. See what I'm saying? Love for black people. And I'm just not just talking about the black people that you see on TV and make you proud because you see Michael Jordan jumping a ball, or you see some senator, or you see some type person. Don't not necessarily have to be a senator or something, but somebody doing something. That's not the reason why. But I'm talking about like I went into the place the other day, last night, when I told you I went into the place to get a sub, and this sister up there, she got this big weave bundle, bouffant bundle on her hair. She got black hair up under here, and this big gold thing sticking up on her head. And I'm looking, and I'm saying, yeah, it look crazy, but that's the one I see the beauty in. You see what I'm saying? The people that don't, the people that the ones that most of the people will make fun of. You see what I see brothers staying on, I saw a brother, man, the brother on the corner, and he come up and he want to bump some money because he got to get him a couple of pig ear sandwiches. You see what I'm saying? That's the beauty of this thing. But that's what I look at him, I say, God damn it, they're God's people. It's perfect. I look and I say it's perfect. It's perfect because they talk about a lost multitude. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody in the world fits the description of a lost people but us. So that lets you know that this is it. It's the God's people. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm in love with that. So that's what drives me is, I say I ain't got nothing, I got black people. You understand what I'm saying? Spite what they do to you, spite all this type of thing, because I'm on another level than that. You see what I'm saying? How can I blame a person for being a total asshole when I know that he was robbed of memory from slavery? Hell, we don't even supposed to even be here. So that in itself ought to let you know that it's got to be a divine thing. You see what I'm saying? So now that's the key to this whole thing is and basically, if you're going to do something, get high, just fall in love with black people. Say, well, hell, I just know I'm in the right race for this thing. See what I'm saying? That's the key. We hooked. I mean, look, we are hooked up. You know what I'm saying? We hooked up. We ain't got nothing to worry about. They see us come and say, just rejoice. You are the chosen people. For the mere fact that you're the first on earth, meaning who can be chosen? You the potent stuff. You see what I'm saying? And let's say if you got a bucket of oil, the primal oil, you understand? And then you got different fragrances come, let's say, we're talking about perfumes now. So you got the potent stuff. And you got different fragrances that come out for 1,000 years, but you still got the potent stuff. But yet the earth say, no, I'm coming to get my stuff. He's going to bypass all of that, and he's going to go back to what he first, the real deal juice, because he can't use that watered down stuff. So that's letting you know on a high level, you got to understand for the mere fact that we are in this is beautiful. It's beautiful. You got to start looking at it this way. For the mere fact that we're dying and we're in the wretched is beautiful. Now, let me read this one time, because I'm jump ahead of myself. Now, it says that they have caused much confusion. The Hanton impersonator is spreading a message of doom through written materials and that he has dictated. Now, all of a sudden, now this has become different. At first it said it was some Syrians, and now it's some person on earth. You understand? He's double talking. This typical negative extraterrestrial activities, now they say extraterrestrial, they got to put that in there because most people are still scared of spaceships and all of that. So they can get you to be on their side by telling you that something is coming to kill you. You understand what I'm saying? But like I said, hey, first thing come off, and if it cut that head off, I'm down with that. I'm down with anything coming to doggone get this man off the doggone earth. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm down with that. Hell, you see what I'm saying? If I see the man with them horns, and he bypassed me and go and cut that brother's neck, I say, hey, I'm down with you. Let's go get a cold one, and we discuss this thing. Now, the typical negative extraterrestrial activity, their primary purpose is to undermine faith in your government. Now, right there is that's in the story. You need to throw down the page. You understand what I'm saying? Hasten to decline that they believe is invisible. They're saying that if you don't see it, don't worry about it, because that's what the white man wants you to think. He gives you the catechism of impossibility saying, I am all that it is. You see, that's why he didn't tell you nothing about the space stuff for 47 years. You understand? If you knew there was something some alternative, you ain't got to. Just imagine in the 60s if some brothers was sure, not the Nation of Islam, but I'm talking about I'm talking about this mass movement of brothers and sisters marching in Selma, Alabama, and they were sure they had some backup with some ships. And it'd have been all over. Cracker couldn't beat you down with no holes and stuff. Wouldn't be no stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? So that's letting you know that you got to back up. You backed up. So it says to undermine your faith in the government. And it says this imposter has dictated a large body of information that describes conspiracy, economic decline, and destruction of your planet. We and the positive service to others, extraterrestrials, do not hold this view of conspiracy and doom, although you are coming very close to destroy yourself. So they give you that old thing, you know, because white people come on there and say we must save the planet and all this old stuff. We are the world bullshit, excuse the expression, but you know what I mean? But what kind of fool? Now that's, like I say, that is dialectically opposite from the Bible. The Bible talks about doom, destruction, and they talk about those people that's conspirators that conspire against those good doers. That's all through your Bible. And I don't care what religious book you pick up, Quran, Bible, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Book of Coming Forth by Day, whatever, it's going to say the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? So that ought to let you know that this is nothing but the government trying to deal with some stuff here. Now, you already have emerged into the New World Order. They're giving you the first thing with the license tag thing, like I said. They started picking up these cars. They said it's going to wait till the end of May and start picking up these cars with the 94 tags and charging them $1,000. Now, can you imagine somebody impounding your car and charging you $1,000 for a piece of paper? Now, here you go out to the store and you buy you a car. You spend money and ain't finished paying for it yet. And yet there's a piece of paper, but if you had a good color Xerox machine, you can make it yourself, and a person is going to impound your car. This person say, I'm taking your stuff. See what I'm saying? Off of a piece of paper. But yet we don't question it because we believe in the law. You understand what I'm saying? We believe in the law. Another thing, because you know a lot of this militia stuff is getting ready to go down, and then they're going to transfer all the militia stuff because it's actually for you. You see? You notice on the news, they want to get a person like Timothy McVeigh or this other guy, Nichols, whatever. What they do, they'll put out all the information you believe in, and oh yeah, he did it. Then they'll go and you'll see some person in a room with some subtitle on the TV screen. He'd be in a little black room, face, you know, in a black room. You can't see nothing. You can see his silhouette, but you can't see him. And you'll see the subtitle. And they say, well, this is one of his friends, close friends that knew about him. They didn't want to be seen on the camera, right? He didn't want to be seen on the camera, so we decided to disclose his identity or whatever. You ever thought about this? Who in the hell would say that that is the close friend? What we got is, they go and say, we got to think up a lie on somebody. So they can come in here and say, we're going to pick this brother right here. They see him on the street. Pull you over for a speeding ticket, get your name and all this kind of stuff. They got some crime, somebody robbed something. Next thing they know, they said, they pin the crime on you. That's why you got to go see this movie, The Glass Shield. How many people saw this movie yet? The Glass Shield with Ice Cube. Anybody, well, I'm going to get in that in a few minutes, but let me explain this. So what they do to pin it on you is, they get in there and they say, well, we need somebody to come in to be a person that's going to be his best friend. So all they go and do is they get the TV producer, maybe somebody black, or maybe some white people, because you can hang out with some white boys. But you don't know it's dark. If they can't really front where you can see the silhouette is black, they put that little ball over, that little black dot, that little blue thing. And then they put the subtitle. So they go back right in the room where the people working, the TV producers, and what they do. They put that little thing on there, and they say what they got to say, and you believe you think it's a close friend. And this is how they set you up. That's why you got to go see this movie called A Glass Shield. Go pay the money, because now this movie is saying, it's the same brother that made the movie To Sleep with Anger. He didn't get a lot of juice off that, but this one is back, and I think it's got a, he was smart this time. He put Ice Cube in it, automatically, it's a seller. But the movie is about a black police officer, and when he get on the police force, he got to sell out to keep his job. So he, along with the white people, try to set up Ice Cube, and Ice Cube just pull up to the station to get some gas. You see what I'm saying? Got to go see this movie, Glass Shield. You see, it's playing at Lenox and a couple other places, but it's showing you, and every black police officer who ain't sold out yet need to go see this thing. or the ones that did sell out, they need to, because I know they'll be saying, hell, that's me. You see what I'm saying? Because there's 75,000 black people getting locked up in Atlanta, Georgia. That means you got some Negroes selling out somewhere, and some lawyers ain't doing nothing either. There's 75,000 black men getting locked up. You know what I'm saying? So that ought to let you know that, no, don't give me no Atlanta's finest. I don't have no respect for no men in blue. Now, I got a couple of brothers that's down, but they warriors. I respect black people. Damn that shield. You see what I'm saying? And I got some brothers that's down, they say they're ready to take the cracker head, but they armed. They say, shoot, soon as it's time. Some brothers right on the city of Atlanta. They done told me, yo, brother, we got a few of us training, and so when it's down, we're going to cut the heads up in here. You see what I'm saying? So now that's cool. He said, because we are a nationalist dream. We got about 20 armed, trained people know how to shoot a gun. You understand what I'm saying? So, but I'm talking about most people need to see this particular movie that's coming out. So this license tag thing is showing you that this New World Order, all they got to do is make it law. They tell you that this is a free country, but yet you got more laws in this country than any place ever in the history of the earth. So you say you free, but then again it's a law. And no, there's no such thing as freedom of speech. You pay a price for that. You see what I'm saying? You say, I got freedom of speech and freedom of dress. But when you go apply for that job, you don't go up in there with some cut-off damn short pants and a T-shirt on say Freaknik. You know that you pay a price for that. You're not going to get the job, right? Right? Of course you can do it. Of course you can go in your house and cuss your mama out. But there's certain laws that say that you can't do that. I'm talking about our universal laws. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is there's no such thing as freedom of speech. They had a whole thing on TV in Britain, I think it was 92, about censorship in America. And America got all mad about it. You see, and it was in Britain. You see, censorship in America. So there's no such thing as freedom of speech. So now we're going to have these energy wands, these things that you can go and zap these people, because this energy going to get real good this summer, and you can zap these people with this wand. And you can clean yourself with it. You can take it and open your chakras up with it. It's an energy wand. So we're going to be selling those. I'm going to pass out these cards to you, and you get in touch with the brother and have him to make you some. Check? All right. Now, back to the Ebola. The Ebola's our ear, and this is when you know it's coming. Now, when is it going to break? They told us when I first saw the, not outbreak, I saw a news day one broadcast first. And about the Ebola, I said, oh, they're getting ready to cook up another disease. Because I knew it was at Fort Detrick, Maryland, right? Do me a favor. Since somebody go and get me some honey so I can take it so I don't get hoarse. You know, I usually really throw down, but I think this heat. But anyway, when I saw it, I said, I know something is getting ready to go down. Now, the next thing was, so we asked the Spirit, when is this going down? They said June. Now, you might pass it because, see, they don't like to give dates because, see, the time is so messed up because it might come a month later. It might come a couple of weeks later. But it does come. They just say now, you are in the season. You are in the season for all of this. You understand? So they said June. Now, the key was, then the movie came out, Outbreak. And everybody, if you hadn't seen the movie Outbreak, how many people saw the movie yet?
It's 99 cents.
It's 99 cents and $1. For the people who had not seen the movie, this is one of the most important movies of your life. Because, especially you in Atlanta. Now, I think we need to talk about this a little more to make it clear on what's going down. Y'all all right? Okay. Now, the whole thing with Outbreak. They put out the movie, and then they put out the book. How many people bought the little dollar book? If you go to the supermarket, or go to the drugstore, or go to the bookstore, if you get a movie, always read the book. The book is only like $4, little paperback books. Go get the book. Because in the movie they said 1967 is when this thing's supposed to be broken out. But in the TV show Virus that came out 2 days before they actually put the virus out in Africa, they said 1976, which is the accurate date because that's when they started cooking it up. Now, 1967 in the movie, and then it shift. Yeah, we deal with some of that. And then it shift, and then what happened? It shift to present day. Now, when you go get the book, the little Bantam book or whatever, who it is, it's going to have, instead of present day, they couldn't put that in the movie because they know that black people go to movies. And plus, if you don't go to movies, it come to video soon, you'll get the video. And now with the bootleg thing going on, you get the video. Yeah, you know, the movie in New York, the movie come out at 3 o'clock. You know, it come out at 12, and at 3 o'clock, they got the movie on the street. So, so now, they couldn't put it on there, but you go get the book. When you see the movie and you see present day, in the book, they're going to say what? August 19th, 1995. Everything is everything. Everything is everything. And I don't need to tell Christians that because you know yourself. They teach you from Sunday school, you start looking for them signs. Check? Right. All right. It says August 19th, 1995. Now, then the TV show breaks out. And when the TV show breaks out, same night, it's interesting because the same night, when did that show come on? About 3 weeks ago. Let's put it this way. Let's date this thing. Because I know that they announced the disease on May 14th. No, May 10th. So 9th, 8th. On the 8th, the show came on a Monday night about virus. Now, it's interesting because where was it set? The whole script was set here in Atlanta, and how did they administer the virus when it got out? Some fool was running around with an immunization gun, right? Okay. Now, it's interesting that we have the same immunization, and then what, 2 days later, the movie, the actual disease broke out in Zaire. Now, we do know that the whole immunization thing, it was a test run in 1993 when they used black children from the AU Center to go out and knock on doors and bring people to get immunized, and they shot up 16,000 people, children, to go see Michael Jackson. Remember? What is the immunization under? It's under Jimmy Carter's Atlanta Project. What is Jimmy Carter? What did Jimmy Carter do? He, in 1979, he drew up the Global 2000, right? To take 1 billion people off the planet by the year 2000, right? Now, that's the same project that's going on with this Atlanta project. Now, you see this commercial come on, a little black man, a little black boy riding down the street with a little old toy car, and they tell you get your children immunized. And then they say what? How many shots by 3 or something? 11 shots by what? 3? By 2. Right. By 2. 11 shots by 2. Immunized. Now, is this camera on? It's blinking. Okay. Yeah. Is it on? Okay, cool. It's blinking. Now, they showed them running around with the immunization things. Now, this is the key. Now, all you got to do is look at your news every day, because I'm going to show you when it's on you. Think back to 1993. Everything is everything, and you got to become analytical to the point that you analyze everything. You understand what I'm saying? Now, there's some things that your soul tell you, and when you start analyzing that, you'll throw it out the door, and you can get killed. When your spirit tells you something, you go with what your spirit tells you. And you know I got that gut feeling. You don't intellectualize that. But I'm talking about anything that the white boy put on TV. Now, let's check this out. Let's understand this. How you doing? Okay? All right. Let's understand this. In 1993, what happened? 1993, they put this immunization out. They shot up 16,000 people. How did they do it? How did they get black people to take their children out? They went and they took spinal meningitis disease and they put it all around the white neighborhoods in Atlanta. Anybody remember back? The white children was breaking out with spinal meningitis. Okay? Then they said, but some of those people you need to get immunized so the rest of the people don't break out with spinal meningitis. They even broke out in Alabama, spinal meningitis, right? So therefore, they had gave a lot of white people the spinal meningitis until when it came to black people to get immunized, they ran to get the immunization, right? Right? Now, we know that the immunization is getting ready to bring this Ebola to your behind. Now, if anybody was listening to the news, because I sure enough heard it last night, they got a brand new case of meningitis. I was waiting on it. I said, look, I said it when I knew that it was immunization with the movie. I said the next thing gonna come is gonna be meningitis. And sure enough, last night on the news, what did they say? They say they got cases of spinal meningitis that's broken out and it's done killed one child, right? Now they're getting ready to start killing some of them, and they're gonna scare it up, and the next thing you know, your people gonna be in the lines for immunization, right? Now the key to this, the key is this. Then they're gonna come and they're gonna say we have detected the Ebola virus and the Ebola virus in the black community, but yet they gave you the movie Outbreak, remember? And the movie Outbreak was they could contain the virus, but the virus got airborne, right? They did that for the scare. So now they're going to tell the people there's a possibility. We have identified black people in Atlanta that have the virus. But in order to keep it from going airborne, since we've identified one group of people, we got to quarantine them. And this is where the black men that's going through training in the Delta locker out at the Hartsfield International Airport, they got a locker, a 747 locker, and they got these troops out there training. You understand what I'm saying? This is why you see in the black helicopters flying around. You see what I'm saying? This is why you're seeing that flying around. Now, so they say, well, first of all, we got to detain. Marcus Garvey told you that the first holding tanks for the New World Order was going to be football stadiums. So, as a result, people are running around Atlanta saying, damn, how in the devil this is going to be Olympics? This is supposed to be a city that's supposed to have the Olympics, but yet they ain't built nothing. We don't see nothing being built. But yet, Morris Brown and Clark, Morris Brown, they didn't even have a stadium in January, and in 4 months, they done put up a whole stadium. And over at Clark, they're working around the clock, right? They say they're going to finish that up in about a week or so. So, that is the first holding tanks to haul your behind in. Now, the same Ebola that was the movie virus that came out, on the 8th, what also happened on the 8th? On the 8th of April, they shut down 13 black schools. Would you know that a city that is predominantly black, you see what I'm saying? So black that you out here in Stone Mountain, the home of the Ku Klux Klan, you know that you black, that they had to start letting you out here, and now this is all black. They done gone to the moon somewhere, because this is all brothers and sisters. How in the devil you going on? Now, white people, they got riots breaking out in Florida, or some Ku Klux Klan against some gangs, with them in Florida about going to school with each other. You think that white people are going to accept you to go to all their schools in masses in September? Right? But they closed down these schools for what reason? Because the other places they put fences around the other ones, the other places in the projects in these other cities, but they have high rises and they don't have as much. Atlanta got more projects than any place because the project started here. Right? So they couldn't do that, so they got different places, but plus other places, most of the other places, they closed down army bases. But based on the senator, with the Georgia senator, not Newt, but this other guy, Sam Nunn made sure that they didn't close down Fort McPherson. So therefore, they can't transport you to Fort McPherson, so what they do, only thing that makes something a concentration camp is they put the barbed wire around it and some guards, right? So therefore, they had to close down the doggone high schools and all the other schools to do that. That's why Carver High was closed down, because Carver High has got a project sitting right on it. Used to be the old Clark College campus. You see what I'm saying? So now, they close down these things, and that's going to be the first particular holding tanks. So just be aware of these particular things. But if anything, you're supposed to go and see the movie. You see what I'm saying? See the Outbreak movie. Since the movie is now only 99 cents, $1.50, go and see the movie. They don't put out these movies for nothing. And everything is everything. You understand what I'm saying? And just remember, if it sounds strange, just remember the crackers has already done it before. You remember? Isn't it funny that this particular vaccine program and this particular Ebola program goes under the same program as the Tuskegee experiment? And now who's the Surgeon General? You understand what I'm saying? All set up. You do me a favor back then, I'll do you a favor later on. Check? It's not an accident that this man is the Surgeon General. You see? Like it was so hard. Just give the man the job. They didn't even have a Surgeon General until C. Everett Koop. That means that when they was putting the labels on the cigarettes in 1970s about the Surgeon General, they didn't even have a Surgeon General. It was a made-up thing. So if you mean to tell me if you went 10 years without a Surgeon General, that I can't walk up in here and be a Surgeon General? When you went 10 years with just a name, that's a slap in the face. Check? So please deal with these things. Now these Europeans now are putting out movies to vindicate themselves. They're putting out this Pocahontas. What's the big deal? But the next thing you know, they got it a big event. They say it's going to be the biggest thing they ever did for a movie. They got the park, Central Park or whatever, showing this Pocahontas thing. What is it? Some Indian with some white person. With some white man. Trying to vindicate what they did with the Indian with this Pocahontas thing. Right? Now they're going to put out a lot of movies because they know that this stuff is leaving America. And so what they're doing is this here. First of all, they're trying to keep people's faith in America. Mostly white people's faith in America. White people. So what they want to do is when white people start questioning America, when you see with all this New World Order stuff in the militias, when they start questioning America, what will happen is this. They put out movies like Rob Roy. For those people that didn't go see it, it'll be at the Dollar Flick. Braveheart, Highlander 3, and they got another one coming out, the same line, with Sean Connery and Richard Gere. These are movies that set in Scotland, Switzerland, England, in the Dark Ages. You understand? When they did not have the freedoms that they so-called have now. To let them know that America is the greatest thing that white people ever had. So they show you what you came from in Europe out of the degradation in the mud, and they show you how filthy it was. You see, they got a movie out, The Madness of King George. They showed how filthy it was, how nasty it was. They put out the movie Frankenstein, but what they do, they showed the plague and how filthy it was. You see what I'm saying? They do this for a particular reason. So when you see the movies of America, and you see America is the best thing that white people have. And this is to regain white people's faith in America. If to say, well, if we abolish this government, then what will we have? Another Europe, right? We know that that's a twofold story. It's never been, America's been a nightmare for us as black people. So now they're putting out these particular movies for that particular reason to do that. Also, I noticed they start showing some movies. They showed the movie John Brown, Santa Fe Trail, with Errol Flynn and Ronald Reagan. Now, they show this movie to write out John Brown in history, because John Brown was one of the greatest revolutionaries for black cause than most black revolutionaries. He put them on the ground and blow their heads off.
Say that again.
I mean, he had thousands of white people following him. So they say, well, we don't ever want this thing to break out. Whereas when the government gets so bad, until a black revolutionary figure stand up and white people start following him. So therefore they put out this thing on John Brown and show that he was this diabolical person like Hitler. Anytime you can get the old movie Santa Fe Trail, you'll see how they did this particular part about John Brown. Now it's interesting about this Ebola thing that's getting ready to crack open to let you know that this thing can actually go down. Do you know that some white boy, I don't know who told me this and did the research on it, but some white boy sent off to Fort Detrick, Maryland, and ordered 3 strains of the bubonic plague, and they sent the thing to him through the mail. So that ought to let you know how easy it is for something to break out. But they set the, but listen, this cracker now ordered these 3 strains of bubonic plague. They sent this cracker, this stuff through the mail.
Yes, you're right.
You see, that ought to let you know. But now they sowed the seeds to this Ebola thing for the simple fact, when they were on the, right after the movie came out, Virus, they went directly to the CDC. And the guy said, well, we got passwords, locks, and all this stuff that you have to do to get inside here. But then he said, but I would never say that it can't leak out. Now, wait a minute, hold on. You never hear an airline saying, I'll never say that this plane won't crash. They told the people the other week, 0 crashes. That's what we predicted. Now, here's a man that's got the most dangerous virus known to man, right? You got people can't even get out of prison. And yet you mean to tell me that you can't contain